to be like, if we have fun, everyone else will join in and have fun too.
It's a good
and
fucking
that's
point.
what I want to fucking do with my goddamn life.
Nice, dude. Yeah.
Get a heavyweights dance his way through this life.
Yes.
Yeah.
Dude, I want to fucking punch you in the fucking face with positivity and fun, motherfucker. You can have some gratitude, you stupid bitch.
There you go.
Yes.
Don't be afraid, kids. He's happy. All right.
Yeah.
Dude, put it on hot, man. I love it, dude.
The Eagle has landed.
You're listening to American Slacker Podcast with Matthew Gertz and Jesse Landers.
Welcome to American Slacker Podcast. As always, I'm Matt.
And I am Jesse, and today we are joined by our guest, Ian Fidance. Ian, out of New York City, thank you for coming on the show, man.
Thank you guys for having me, man. I know I've been a pain to lock down, but your guys' patience really means a lot, so thank you.
It's persistence.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, we're definitely glad to have you. I've had the chance to see you live, and I immediately just fell in love with your act, and I followed you from then on. So we dig what you do. And why don't you tell the people a little more about yourself, just so they're in case they're not familiar?
Well, I'm from Wilmington, Delaware. Lived there till I was 18. Moved to New York City. Lived here until 2008. And then moved back to Delaware for 4 years and came back in 2012. I've been here ever since. When I left the same. When I moved back in the same apartment, same room from when I left in 2008.
Oh shit, familiar realm.
Yeah.
Okay. Man, that's wild. What do you prefer, Delaware over New York City, or?
No, I mean I've been in New York so long. I'm almost in the city longer than I lived in Delaware, and I love New York. I feel like it's really been a part of my life. I have so many memories here. I love going back to Delaware. It's nice. The only thing that's back there for me is really my mom. So it's just, I kind of outgrew the area. I did everything I could there, and I love it. I'm always going to love it. It's great to go back home and like feel grass on my feet. That's amazing.
True. You don't get that in the gridiron fucking city. Yeah.
It is weird though, because New York's such a communal place and everybody's shoulder to shoulder. And then you go to the suburbs and everyone just stays in their home, and it's very like solitary in a way. It's weird.
Yeah, definitely different than what you grew up in. Similar to like how we are too. I mean, we both grew up in upstate New York in a very town,
not too far from
town with a very small population, and now we live in big cities, and I could see the change. People are not friendly compared to back home.
I was so scared when I moved to New York, because it was maybe like a year and a half, not even 2 years after 9/11, and everyone in Delaware was like, terrorism, you're gonna die, you're gonna die. So the first time I was on the train, this guy came on. I was like, attention, ladies and gentlemen. And I put my head down because I thought he was going to blow us up. And he laughed. He was like, what's wrong, boy? You ain't seen a black man before? I was like, oh, God.
Oh, man.
Yeah, so it was really a New York baptism. But I didn't leave like a 2-block radius. I just, coming from such a small town where you drive everywhere, everyone, it's such like an isolating experience. And I don't know, it took me a while to adjust, and now it's like I can't leave,
So the feeling definitely changed from, it being intimidating to it being home, it sounds like.
Yeah, well, I went to school in New York, and I hated school, so it was like, blech. But then when I graduated, I really loved it. Towards the end, I really, really loved the city. But for the first 2 years, I would come home at every chance, constantly going home on any break I had instead of staying in the city. It was all just fear. And then once I embraced it, I loved it. And then coming back specifically for comedy, because I started in 2011, and then coming back in 2012 was like, all right, I'm here for a purpose. I love it. I'm here. And, I feel like I've seeped into the sewers of New York, and it's a part of me,
It'll happen. You stay there long enough, right?
Yeah, eventually. Yeah.
It either eats you alive or you make it.
I mean, it's eating me alive from the inside, but on the outside, it's like, hey, everything's great.
Oh man.
Well, I mean, in the world of comedy, that's what you want to put out, keep them laughing.
But I mean, I try to be as truthful as possible. And like sometimes I'll just go on stage and I'll flat out be like, I don't want to be here. I'm fucking depressed. Everything fucking sucks. Cause I learned, like, if I'm just like, hey, how you doing? Hey, it like eats me up inside to the point where I just want to like explode. And I just have to now. I can't hold it in anymore.
It's nice that you have a job where you can do that. See, most people do that in the middle of their office. They're going to HR for the day.
Yeah. I mean, it's nice I had a job where I could do that,
Yeah. Well, you were teaching for a bit, right? As well?
I was, yeah. Yeah. I went to school for English education, and then I taught for a bit. I taught for a while. I was teaching test prep at like multiple schools during the day, and then going and doing comedy at night. And it just got to be a lot. So I just backed out of that and found another gig to make it work during the day so I could do comedy at night,
Damn. That's devotion to doing something that you're passionate about. Cause I mean, that's something Matt and I have always like, we're big fans of comedy, and like, we like to write stuff, we do the podcast, we do little skits and shit like that. But stand up is something that we've always adored, but something I've never taken this. Yeah, I've never taken that step to be like, all right, fuck it. I'm getting rid of my 9 to 5. I'm going to like head down, do this 100%. And that's like probably a scary step.
For me, I've done one real stand-up thing. I've done a comedy storytelling event, and it went really well compared to what I was expecting.
Nice.
So I feel like I got lucky, and I like rode off into the sunset without wanting to. Like, I'm just like so afraid because I know the next one's going to be like, somebody's going to be like, eat shit.
Yeah, but why? I mean, people now rarely ever do that unless you're like, it's a late night show, someone's super fucking drunk, But what is that fear of not doing it again? Like, you did it once and it went great, so why not jump back in and try it again?
I know, dude. Yeah. Yeah, fear is a weird fucking thing, isn't it?
You probably would, though, if the opportunity.
Yeah, I probably would. It's just I'm not, I'm taking the bitch seat again, and I haven't really provoked the thought of like searching for the next one,
Yeah, but also, I got to give you credit for wanting to do it, doing it, and going, okay, cool, I did it. Because some people want to try it and they can't even muster the courage to do it. And I think
I'm just gonna slink out of my
no, but really, man, that's great you tried it. Anyone, I know comics that when people are like, I want to try comedy, they're like, get out, don't do it. But I just say do it. Why not? Because a lot of people have always wanted to, they try it and then realize, all right, it's not for me. And it's like, hey, all right, cool. But if you like it and you keep going, like, wow, you have something else in your life to look forward to.
True. Yeah. And I mean, I can see how it could get addicting to doing very well. Cause I mean, I got a couple of laughs and it was like enough to be like, oh shit, this is cool. And that's like, where I sat back and relaxed.
Yeah.
But like,
it's a thing like, I was talking to my mom last night, and I'm like getting really ramped up at nights because I'm used to running around the city, doing multiple spots, being in the village and like going from one place to another, seeing all my friends, getting that reaction of those laughs, and tinkering with something. You start out on the first set with, this like premise. And then by the end of the night, you're like, this is fucking great, or you get stubborn and you keep bombing with it and you're like, they're wrong. It'll work.
Oh, man. Yeah,
it's a really hard adjustment,
Yeah.
right now.
I can imagine.
Because I mean that's people are not working. God, I feel so bad for people that aren't working and have like families and everything, and or like even working from from home. That's like an adjustment, but like around 6 o'clock at night, I start to get like really kind of anxious because that's when I go out for my job. You know, that's when I go out to work, and to not have that, I feel kind of lost. And so I'm trying to fit, like during the day, aside from like going and like, acting or doing radio or podcasts or working on projects, it's pretty kind of much the same of like getting up, working on my projects, writing, getting things done. It's sometimes I'll go to a shop, sometimes I'll stay here. Other times, I'm really busy during the days with like going and doing podcasts and stuff, which that change has been all right. But the thing at night is just like really fucking tough right now. So I'm trying to get in like a groove of like making dinner, because I never eat. I'll eat a pastry or something in the morning, and I just eat for free at night at comedy club. So I'm like, all right. So now like and before my girlfriend left, she made a ton of food for me. So all I'm doing is like reheating food. And, so I'm trying to ride my bike at night and just get into some sort of something to make it work. But I have been calling friends and like talking on the phone a lot, which really helps. But what can you do but adjust?
Oh yeah, man. Yeah. It's going to be crazy to think about how much this is going to affect the comedy world. I mean, you're going to see a dull in specials probably. I mean, nobody can work on their art for how long, however long this shit lasts.
Yeah. Can you hear my roommate right now?
No, but tell him to shut up. No, I'm just kidding.
Okay. I'm gonna shut my door. I should have. I didn't.
Oh, you're fine. You can come on the show too. Tell him to say hi.
Yeah, invite him in.
Yeah, we're just hanging. No, it's a crazy scenario, man. This just goes to show everything's going to be affected.
Yeah. It's well, the thing about the specials is I was gonna have a film crew come to my apartment and film like a Netflix special quality in my living room to no one. And I wasn't even going to address that no one was here. I was just balls to the wall, going to do my act, like controlled chaos, whatever. And then they just put an ordinance that all non-essential workers have to stay home. So it's a thing of like,
have you tried telling them it's very essential?
I think
tell them it's essential to entertainment because I need to see it.
Yeah, I think I'm going to write a letter, but I don't want to do it on like my iPhone, I have those 2 GoPros, and maybe I could, I don't know.
It's definitely presenting more challenges. And I mean, like, not to like draw comparisons between YouTube videos and like the Renaissance, but I think we're going to see some interesting, like problem solving come out of this, because people still are trying to create, like, you want to do this and you're thinking about different ways to approach it now.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's so many people are going on Instagram Live, and
I was gonna say Garth Brooks even did a concert.
Oh my God.
Fuck him. Who wants that?
That's hilarious. What was his alter ego's name?
Oh God. What was it?
Darth Brooks, I believe.
Oh yeah, no. God, I forget what the fuck his name was. I really despise that.
I'll get on the research on that one.
Darth Brooks. No, it wasn't like Guy Cunningham. It was like
it was such a guy name though. Like it was so stupid.
Yeah, it was like Chet Stiley or something like that. Like
it might be
some weird name.
It sounds
Chris
like
Gaines.
Chris Gaines.
Chris Gaines. Oh my God. That sounds like a wrestler for AEW.
It does.
I was going to say that, or like a really shitty, like alternative rock band lead singer.
Yeah.
Definitely a heel.
Yeah. Yeah. We got Chris Gaines on 104.5 The Rock. Chris, what do you say about your new album? It's the best we've put out. Really proud of our stuff.
It's been compared to Creed. Yeah, I'm really proud of that.
Yeah. It's like Creed meets Skrillex meets Yo La Tango. Like, what? Kill yourself.
I was going to say half his audience just did.
Oh, man. Yeah.
So, I mean, it sucks. Fucking comedy's closed down. People are going stir crazy. That's another thing I'm noticing.
Yeah. Well, it's going to last a lot longer. And, I don't know. I have no answers. you know.
Yeah.
And it's just,
well,
I gotta
get off the show. Why do we bring you on here then? I thought you were gonna solve this shit.
Yeah, right. Let me put on my governor hat. Hold on. Isn't it so funny that Trump is such a fucking shithead that no one's listening to him? It's all coming from governors and state. And I don't know. I the only thing I can do is try my hardest to stay positive. Allow myself to have those negative, like, oh, fuck, but stay in today and like the week rather than like long term, and try to be grateful. Like, I'm so grateful I have my fucking cat. If I didn't have him to like love on and, you know, with my girlfriend going, like, I don't know what I'd do, you know? And I called my mom and was like, you know, Mom, I don't want you to be alone in Delaware. I'm going to come down. I'm going to bring the cat. We'll take care of each other. And she was like, no.
Oh, shit.
No, we kill each other. You and me and 4 pets in this house. And I'm like, yeah, I'll film it. We'll make a show. And she was like, Ian, you are not doing this.
Mama said no.
Yeah. I was like, your only son, you don't want to, you know, possibly die together? And she was like, no, I don't. We have a phone. It'll be fine.
We'll FaceTime.
Yeah.
Respect your mother's boundaries, man. That's crazy.
Yeah, I got to hear a bit from your mom on your podcast, Wild World, right?
Yeah.
In finance as well. And I listened to a couple of the earlier episodes and then some of the more recent ones. And some of the earlier ones that were really funny when you were like, yeah, I'm doing a podcast. Let me call my mom. Yeah, by the way, you're being recorded.
Yeah, that was pretty funny and also illegal, I think. But you know, it was great. And
No one's suing anyone. I mean,
no. I think I don't know if I'm going to bring it back, because I've talked to a couple of people that are like, I'm going to record phone calls to my friends to check in on them, and I'm like, okay, check that off the list of things people are already doing. You know,
yeah.
And it's the thing of like, you know, parallel thinking is like a very real thing. Like whenever an event happens, thousands upon thousands of people tweet the same fucking joke. And it's not all stealing. It's just like, oh, what pops into your head. So we're dealing with like a time where you can be more creative than ever with everyone thinking kind of the same thoughts. And it's just a matter of what your slant and take on it is, you know, like how do you do it that's unique to you? So I don't know. I don't know I don't think I could bring the podcast back, because the whole dynamic of it was me calling people on the phone. You know, so
right.
But it is funny how many people really gravitated towards and like dug the rapport I had with my mom. You know, and it's like I love her so much, and I would love to, and so much of who I am is who she is. And you know, if you love me and you appreciate me, she is a big part of it, and I want to show that to people so they can appreciate where I came from, if that makes sense.
Oh, totally.
And I think that's important as the consumer of your product as well. You know, they want to see, like, they want to understand how you formed, you know, like, because you have especially you have a very unique, you know, personality on stage. Yeah, you're so friendly in person. I mean, that's you know, people want to know about that as well. And I see your mom is probably identical, right? Your mom's probably like the loveliest lady.
I mean, dude, everyone loves Gail. There is not a soul that doesn't love Gail. And like, dude, she's the belle of the ball in Delaware. I mean, neighbors take care of her down the street, across the street, next door. Friends are stopping by. She goes to, you know, her friend's house for dinner on Friday nights. Camille comes over. Eileen hangs out. You know, it's just like everybody loves her because she's incredibly loving and kind, and that radiates from her. And she's such an understanding person that I admire that so much, and I need more of that, you know, to understand rather than desire to be understood. And she radiates that, and I think that's what draws people to her.
Now, do you feel like that's something that like came from like living in a city, where you do feel like that attachment from person to person at all? Like, did that grow as you moved to the city?
What do
or
you
like,
mean?
were you like your attachment, like with your mom, like the beauty of like being just so nice? I feel like, do you feel like you grew more of her traits as you moved to the city, like in retrospect, like to appreciate them?
Well, I was always like a really polite, like friendly, nice kid. And my grandfather, for better or worse, before he died, he specifically told me his words of wisdom were like, be nice, be well liked, and always be nice to people, and everything will be fine. And I was like, okay. So it turned me into like a massive people pleaser, I think. And when I was drinking, I was kind of like a real asshole. And I feel like making an amend to that is just being, I want people to be kind to me, and I want to be genuinely kind to others without wanting something from them. And I think, it makes me feel good to make other people feel happy and be like, oh, that was a nice experience, because I know people don't have that a lot. And I know just from my experience of being like, like suffering and going through things, like everyone has that. And if you can enact some form of exchange that makes someone else feel good, then why would you not do that to make life a better experience?
Truth, man. I'm the same way. I'm a people pleaser, I feel like, and was always like a nice kid, but I went through a rebellious stage. But then as I moved away, I grew to appreciate, all the ethics that mom and pop installed in me,
Yeah. And also, I do have a past with, substance and alcohol abuse and everything. And a big tenet of getting over that is, constant self-analyzation and like reaching your hand out and helping others and like being kind to, someone who no one's kind to. And that was something my dad really instilled in me too, of like, always kind of like picking up the one that's like down, and I try to do that. I fall short definitely a lot, but I don't know. I just, I like, it feels good to feel good. And what makes me feel good is making other people feel good. So I just try to do that,
Yeah.
Now I want to change it a little on its head here. How do you deal with a heckler then? If you're gonna try and be nice to everyone, as much as you can.
Well, I have intense anger issues. Like, I'm not fucking perfect. Like, I have massive resentments. I have massive anger, and it takes so much to have that flood out of me daily. Like, I wake up with just like, oh God, I fucking hate it, and then I got to work hard at making that go away. And bottling that up is not good. That's why I love riding my bike, because I get that out, and I think like dealing with that. Like, that's the thing. When someone wrongs me, that infuriates me, because I feel like I go out of my way every day to be, like kind to someone. And if you don't recognize that and you treat me like shit, it makes me want to fucking rip your head off, And so like a heckler or someone like that, obviously I'll have like a put down, or, I'll deal with it. But I actually learned because, I used to have a lot of anger in me. And I think that fueled my drive to like be kinder, because for a long period of time, I was not nice to others. I was not nice to myself. I would get in fights. I would destroy property. I'd punch holes in walls. I was very destructive. And that anger bottled up inside me and would sometimes come out on stage, especially when I was teaching, because you can't yell at kids. You can't, be like, shut the fuck up. You have to like deal with them. And it was very hard. And then I'm going out at night. So the second somebody would pop off, dude, one time his kid in the front row, he had kind of like messed up teeth and he kept heckling everyone. And then he like heckled me. And I was like, hey man, just to let you know, I'm going to take this mic stand and fuck your teeth up even more. And I got a whole room of comics that have my back. So fuck with me again and see what happens. Yeah. And it ruined the room. It ruined the show. Everyone felt weird. And I got off stage and I was like, yeah, I took care of it. And they're like, are you okay? Like, what's the matter with you? I was like, oh, I took care of it. So I had to learn, like, dealing with hecklers, you got to be nice in a way, because then if you're not, you become the enemy, and you're the one in control of the room. You're the one conducting the symphony, and if the conductor loses it, the music sucks. So I learned also, when someone heckles you, to repeat the heckle into the mic, because not everyone in the room can hear it. You know, like if somebody says something, repeat it so everyone can hear it. Psychologically, they'll realize they're wrong, you're right, they're ruining the show. They paid money for the show. They don't want their show ruined, so take care of it.
Damn. That's a good way to put it down. You amplify their own dumb words back through them. Through the speakers.
How fucking stupid you are.
and also, that gives you a second for your brain to go, okay, to like calculate and formulate a response instead of jumping to anger, which I've done a lot. You know, I especially because I'm so intense and kind of like manic in a way. If I don't take a breath and pause, I will react in anger, and that's no good for anyone.
That sounds like an important lesson, though.
Yeah. I mean, everything is a lesson, and for me, I'm very hard-headed, so I've had to have a lot of lessons. You know. So.
Oh yeah, man. Well, you're almost a decade in, right? You said 2011 you got in.
Yeah, I just celebrated 9 years in February.
Yeah, nice, man. Congrats, man.
Yeah, thanks.
That's a journey, man. But I mean, you're going to be learning till the day you die. You know, it's an art form that's like. It's never ending. I mean, you got to adapt with the times, like, which are ever changing with comedy, faster in comedy than anywhere else in the world. It's insane how quick the tides change. I mean, I feel like we're finally over the cancel everything culture times. And
it'll be back. Don't worry.
It'll be back. But like, we're in a stage where everything's blooming again for wild comedy. You know, I'm a fan of Real Ass Podcast. You're always on there.
Yeah.
Wild comedy.
Lewis in the dick. Give him another one.
Yeah. You know? Well, I'll tell you, I think, you know, if we can find a silver lining out of all this, it's the woke culture of policing everything, I think, will go away, because how the fuck can you, in the right mind, police someone's joke or language when we are all quarantined from a global pandemic? Like, you're really going to worry about a little, like I saw an article from Vice. It was like, COVID-19 is getting in the way of life-saving trans surgeries. And like, there were trans people that were like, I'm not getting my breast augmentation and it's making my dysphoria flare up because of COVID-19. It's like, okay, that'll be a fun conversation. Like, hey mom, I know you are immunodeficient and you're exhibiting problems from a disease, from a virus that's killing thousands, but this brave little boy girl needs their dick chopped off. So I hope you can understand.
Priorities, right? You know?
But I think that's going to go out the window, because this is going to give people massive perspective. And I think when you are constantly looking for something that's wrong, you don't have perspective on how truly unjust other parts of the world are. You know, I think a lot of cancel culture comes from privilege. Like, how privileged do you have to be to spend the time obsessing over a joke, an Oscar choice, a song, an outfit, or someone's hairstyle that they wore, when all of us are fucking grinding and working to make a living. You know, like, how fucking privileged are you to have the time and think that even matters in the scope of things that are going wrong? And that's not to deny systemic racism, homophobia, transphobia, a class system that has convinced the middle and lower class that one day we'll be upper class if you just work hard enough. You know,
in the lottery, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And
chances, man.
And in a way, that's a way of distracting from the fact that we are being fucked. And to get caught up on that and to not have any nuance with it, I don't know. I hope it dies out like the fucking virus, you know, because that shit is a virus and it infects a lot of fucking people.
Yeah. I'm thinking you're right in that theory that, you know, when everyone's kind of cooped up, worried about, you know, grandma There's bigger things on everyone's plate at this point.
And also, what are they going to cancel? I got nothing.
There's nothing going on.
Yes.
Virus did more for woke culture than fucking any tweet.
I mean, truly, what can you take away from me that already hasn't been taken away? What can you take? What are you going to cancel my stand-up gigs? They're already canceled, bitch.
Watch out. He's a madman. He's got nothing holding him back.
Dude.
Oh, dude. It's just fun. I'm going to let the ends fly, man. Let me tell you.
Do it, baby. Do it.
Hard R.
Support for American Slacker comes from Manscaped, who's the #1 in men's below-the-belt grooming. Manscaped offers precision-engineered tools for your family jewels.
I don't know about you, Jesse, but I am sick and tired of being outmatched by these razors and traditional trimmers that you get in the store, and no matter what, they fucking snag your nuts.
That's why Manscaped has redesigned the electric trimmer. They have a Lawnmower 2.0 razor, which they have sent our way, has a proprietary skin-safe technology, so you won't get those nicks or snags on your nuts.
Nice! Manscaping accidents are finally a thing of the past.
Yeah, and with our 20% off code plus free shipping, you're going to be saving a bunch of money and getting some great products that won't end up making it look like a war zone down there.
All you got to do is enter Slackers at checkout. Manscaped.com. 20% off. Get your anti-chafing ball deodorant, your sweet Lawnmower 2.0. Your nuts will thank you later.
You can even rep them by getting yourself a Manscaped.com t-shirt. So head on over Manscaped.com, 20% off at checkout, enter code SLACKERS.
Get your ball swag here.
I know we mentioned you're the one podcast, but you're often on Nikki Glazer's podcast as well. You Up.
Yeah.
And now that one explores more, it kind of touches on like a lot of different topics, it seems like, but it's more, would you say relationship? It seems like it talks about relationship stuff a lot.
Yeah, I think the conversation gravitates towards that, but I love being on there because of the deeper conversations that are had, because Nikki's fearless in going into those deep recesses of the brain that a lot of people shy away from. And she's so honest and open and completely transparent in her feelings in a good way of saying, I feel this way and I'm not the only one, and people truly relate and feel like they live a life where they can't say that, you know? So her show is beautiful because it opens up a dialogue, a conversation where you're not fearful of being too vulnerable, you know, and it allows a conversation to evolve. And I think a lot of things stem from relationships, whether it's a love relationship, a sexual relationship, a familial relationship, a relationship to work, to creativity. We're all involved in these micro relationships. And I think she's so great at tapping into that and not only having that conversation, but allowing other people to be members of that conversation, which I think is really important. And I love, that's why it's my favorite one. And I'm so grateful that I get part of it, you know?
Yeah, I think you fit right in, man, because you're pretty open yourself about relationships in general. I mean, you have so many great stories out there online. I mean, your life is an open fucking book, dude. Is it?
It is, yeah.
That doesn't bother you at all?
What's that?
That doesn't bother you in any aspect. You like to just you'll tell everything?
Well, we're only as sick as our secrets.
True. And, I mean, yeah.
You know, if I hold things back, I feel like I'm not being truly authentic. But then you get to this line of like, what's authentic? What's for you? What's for public consumption? If you feel resentful, do you make that public? If you feel resentful, do you tell that person? What is, you know, like I do keep things private. I very much things I keep close to the chest, you know, and I hold a lot of things sacred that I don't put out there, you know, and I feel like that's important too. But you know, the past I've had, the life I live, I mean, it's completely ridiculous. And I'd be lying if I said it wasn't. And, you know, I think, you know, also too, in being open, that's, you know, helped other people, which is good. But at the same time, you know, I think, being an open book is, just flip the page and read me, baby.
Nice. I like it, man. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Some of it, like Matt had mentioned, some of your stories so ridiculous. The one that I had heard you tell about being arrested after jumping a turnstile.
Oh yeah. Where'd you hear that?
I don't know. It's been a flood of Ian Fidance the past week. I'm trying to remember exactly where.
I'm so sorry. I actually,
I loved it.
Yeah, I mean, I've gotten myself into massively ridiculous situations. Like in high school and college, if like a friend of a friend met me, like somebody was like, "Oh, that's Tom's ridiculous friend Ian." Like I've always been like a wild child and a fucking lunatic, and I'm fortunate I've built up a life for myself that allows me to live that way and have these things in a way like profit from it. But at the same time, I back myself into a corner where comedy is my life. Comedy is my job. I cannot get a regular job. I don't even know if I could marry a regular person with what is available for their consumption, But also, I got to say that is an outsized character of me. I'm very different on like an interpersonal relationship level, and in private, I'm not always this like,
screaming stolen valor at people.
Yeah. Dude, my favorites.
At family reunions and shit. Like,
dude, where did that start? When did you come up with that? I've never heard the origin of the stolen valor.
I don't know if I've even talked about the origin of that. I really get a kick out of those stolen valor videos on the internet. And a while back, I saw someone wearing a referee jersey, and they were like on a payphone. So obviously they were homeless. And I just made a video that was like, they're not a referee. They don't work at Foot Locker. Stolen valor. But I didn't confront them. And then one day I was like, well, just like confront them and yell and get people's reactions. And I did it to someone on the train because some stuff pisses me off where like when a new fashion trend hits, it makes me angry when I see people wearing it because it's like, you didn't always dress like that. That's not authentic to who you
it's
are.
Not your style.
You're being a faker.
We know why you're doing it.
To fit in, and you didn't always dress like Lydia from Beetlejuice. and it's like, fuck you, But also, it comes from an insecurity and a self-hatred in me that I am nervous to try different styles because I feel like a faker. You
can dress like Lydia. We won't make fun of you, man.
Yeah, right. That's my go-to outfit. But like checkerboard slip-ons are like way popular, and I used to get made fun of for wearing them in like high school and everything because I was in a ska band, and so when I see everyone wearing it, and like I wore a fanny pack for years and I got so much shit, but it's like the most convenient article of clothing, and now fanny packs are in, and when the comic wears one on stage, I want to wring their neck.
That's a Joe.
Rogan, he's coming for you.
Does he?
You could claim that you inspired his if you were doing it before.
I'm almost positive I've seen him perform live with a fucking pack on. He tries to give one to every guest almost.
Well, I mean, I would take
gives him a fanny pack full of elk meat.
I would take it and throw it out and say, I have one of my own, buddy.
Dude, I have seen you rocking one for a long time on social media. That's part. Yeah. One of my favorite posts ever was, what was it? End of Hot Girl Summer. Get ready for a fat bitch fall or something. Oh my God. Dude, I fucking saw that scrolling one day and I laughed so hard out loud.
I don't even remember what picture that was.
Dude, you were rocking it, baby. Rocking that fanny pack with short shorts. In front of like a cab or something.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah. Well, that's why I love the city. I feel like in a way it's like my playground, It
is.
I'm so fortunate. I get to ride my little bike, go around town, see my friends, go to work, live my life. And I try to document it because it's really fun. And I like to inject some fun and positivity in people's lives because I feel like I grew up and at a certain point I didn't have that. And, it's nice to be able to put that in other people's lives if they're missing it,
That's awesome. It's fantastic.
Oh yeah.
Plus, it's fun. I truly have the most fun ever. You know, like, because I lived for a very long time completely like sad and depressed with a lot of pain. And so the more fun I have, the more that makes that further in the distance, you know. Yeah. So I've cried all my tears. I've felt all my bruises and cuts. I might as well go out and smile a bit and have some fun while I'm doing it, you know?
And yeah, another contagious thing, like if you're enjoying the moment, if you're enjoying life, you know, around people, they're going to enjoy your company. Like, whereas like if you're like being fake as fuck and fake smiling and stuff, people like notice that and they're like, it's
well, that or even a bad attitude is really infectious. I've worked at some jobs where like one pissed off fucking dude just like thinks shit.
I cannot hang around people that are negative. When that energy's around, I just drop off and like, I can't, and maybe I got to work on like saying like, hey, I can't be around you because you're negative and then leaving, but I just kind of like ghost the person, which I need to work on, but I can't.
At the same time, it's fair to yourself, you know? True. I mean, like
self-preservation.
You can't really control anyone else. I mean, maybe if it's worth it, depending on the relationship.
Yeah. I just had something to say when you were, talking about it being contagious. Okay, have you ever seen Heavyweights?
Oh yeah.
Do you remember when Tony Perkis had the dance to embarrass the fat kids, and the fat boys were on one side and the little grade school girls were on the other, and then Paul Feig comes out and just starts flipping out dancing to be like, if we have fun, everyone else will join in and have fun too.
It's a good
and
fucking
that's
point.
what I want to fucking do with my goddamn life.
Nice, dude. Yeah.
Get a Heavyweights dance his way through this life.
Yes.
Yeah.
Dude, I want to fucking punch you in the fucking face with positivity and fun, motherfucker. You can have some gratitude, you stupid bitch.
There you go.
Yes.
Don't be afraid, kids. He's happy. All right.
Yeah.
Dude, put it on hot, man. I love it, dude.
That's just like that.
Fuck.
I mean, you'll probably get this same thing. I have the chicken wing theory for life, where you've seen, I believe it's Tommy Boy, David Spade, and Chris Farley, where they're sitting in the diner after they just got in the fight, and he's asking for the chicken wings, and they say, sorry, the fryers are off, and then he kind of schmoozes the waitress a little bit. David Spade goes, you got to do that. You got to do the chicken wings every time. Yeah. I've tried to use that same theory to get through different parts of life and dealing with people. It's like, you can fight people a lot of the times, or you can use the chicken wings.
Yeah.
Try and meet them on that level.
I love that. And also too, I've noticed with like internet trolls, because I do hold some things incredibly sacred to me, and I'll joke about anything. I mean, I can take a hit, I can give it out, it's totally fine. And I get people like trying to make jokes and missing or whatever, but some people have said like some flagrant shit, and I will message them personally and go, hey, look, I am a human and I have feelings, and I will literally take a joke about anything, but this is one thing I don't appreciate being talked about, being joked about. And I hope you can respect and appreciate that. And dude, 9 times out of 10, boom, done. They delete. Hey, I'm a fan. I like you. I didn't know. I was trying to be funny. I went through this thing too. La, la, la. And it's like, wow, if you try to make a genuine connection, I think that's what we're all seeking. We're all seeking some form of connection, some form of community. And I think a lot of people are missing that in their life. And I think it starts from one-on-one and can branch out. But I also think the internet has divided us from that to where, it's easier to be a troll. It's easier to be involved in a negative community, to have community, if that makes sense.
Yeah. I totally agree. A lot of the Facebook groups I have joined in the past have turned into be fucking viper pits. And then you're like, I'm out of here.
Yeah,
fuck this shit.
I can't even count the amount of fucking groups I've left, like whether it's like, like a video game or like fucking this kind of community, a show community, comedy. Comedy can be the worst, man. You guys deal with some crazy ass fans. So I don't even know, man. I wouldn't even read a shit if I was you, but it's probably hard.
I am not on I'm on Facebook to be like, here's some information about a show. Here's the thing I did, blah, blah, blah. I'm on Twitter to fuck with my page only. I never go interact with someone else or like quote, like tweet or reply to someone. Let's have a real dialogue. Blah, 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 blah. If someone starts out with me, I'll try to, but then I'll be like, hey, I'm just whatever. On Instagram, same thing. I'm like very selfish with my social media in terms of like only sticking to my pages, because if I join a group or like a whatever, I put my own bias on what people say. So I'm like, oh, I bet they think fucking this, and that's like not healthy for me. Yeah. And then I have a hard enough time talking with someone and not being like, are you mad at me? Without like having to deal with that with 100 strangers in a group. So I stay out of it. I don't deal with that shit. And it's so much better for my mental health.
Yep. Yeah. The distance is definitely safer, on persona wise. Cause I would be the same way, man, especially when you're in spotlight. It's like, fuck, I don't want to know. I don't want to know.
That's even worse, because then you'll get some troll who's like following you around trying to, personally like piss you off.
Well, dude, that's one of the things about Stolen Valor is a lot of people like it and dig it, but people started to Stolen Valor me in real life, and that got very strange. And so I was
like, doing a Stolen Valor video?
Yeah.
Huh.
A real fucking original, whoever's out there doing that.
It was very strange. So it's like, and also some guy followed me out, like threatened to kick my ass. And as a response, I was like, I'm sick. I didn't take my medicine. And he left me alone. So man. Like that is a risk. And maybe I just got to get bigger balls and go, fuck it, but right now I don't think it's a time to be doing that. And if I get beat up, I don't want to be in the hospital for like anything to put me at risk. So
you never know when someone's walking up to you like, all right, is this person in the right mind? Or are they just excited? Like what's going on?
Yeah. Yeah. Why I Stolen Valor a guy playing the flute on the street, and a bunch of people crowded around him. And it turned out he assaulted someone with that flute and was waiting for the police to arrive. And I was like, maybe it's time to stop. Maybe it's time to stop yelling at strangers on the street.
Oh, dude, one of them's going to have a gun eventually, right? I'm like,
oh, yeah, totally.
See, now what would be good though, as like a tribute to the Stolen Valor videos, is if your fans found people who look like you and did a Stolen Valor on them. Saying, you're not Ian Finding, it's Stolen Valor.
Yes.
Stolen Valor.
Yes.
Oh my God, dude.
Put it out there.
I would love the Stolen Valor challenge. Now, that'll be something to look forward to when we're allowed to have human contact again.
Yeah. Who knows when that's going to be?
Yeah.
Oh, man. It's like everything's caveated right now with a little green spiky ball. Yeah.
Postponed.
No, not green, red or gray. I don't know what color they're showing for the infographics these days.
I don't know, man. All we can do is take care of ourselves, be safe, really love on people that are around us from a safe distance, and stay positive for the days when this will kind of subside, because otherwise we're going to implode.
Yeah, man. Got to stay
positive message.
Hell yeah. Oh, now you have a cartoon coming out soon, right?
Yeah, I do. Me and another comic, Gary Vider, actually, I called to check in on him, just, because I'm calling friends are calling me, we're FaceTiming, which is like good. But I called just to like talk, and we were making each other laugh. We're like, oh dude, that'd be a funny sketch. We can't do that. That'd be a funny cartoon. We're like, oh shit, we should do a cartoon about this. And so it's called Surviving with Gary and Ian. And it's like a old Sunday morning cartoon with panels on Instagram. So you swipe
Nice.
And it's drawn by Julia Johns, who's a great animator. And it's about two guys, Gary and Ian, that are roommates during a global quarantine. And we're going to find out what will kill us first, coronavirus or each other, you know? And so each little episode is just like, you know, hits on a topic that we're all going through, like social distancing, watching the news, Trump's racism, you know, washing your hands, or like meal prep or whatever. So it just kind of takes like a funny, dark look at that. And I'm really excited about it. It's great because it's giving me something to do. It's giving me a purpose. It's fun. It's something to work on. It's something to look forward to. You know, it's a nice project. And it comes out tomorrow, Monday, March 23rd. We're going to have one 5 days a week, probably around, you know, between 1 and 3 p.m. each day. So
nice.
You know, it's going to be good.
What was the handle for that one on Instagram?
Survive with Gary and Ian on Instagram. And I'm going to post it to my page, him as well. And, you know, we'll see how it goes. Either way, it's just something to work on, you know?
Hell yeah, man. Gotta stay busy, man.
Yeah. And I have a phone call, videos coming out with me and my mom as well. So I'm going to do the cartoon in the morning, afternoon, and then release that at night. And I'm going to put out a Patreon soon as well, just to see if I can have some, you know, it's just a tough thing of like, how am I to make money when I'm taking money out of someone else's hand, you know?
For Patreon, you're saying?
Yeah.
Like it's a tough decision?
Yeah.
I would say, man, dude, your art is like consumable.
Yeah.
I would gladly, you know, give to a Patreon of an artist like you, especially in this times we need to support art like that. Otherwise, what are you guys going to do? Give up on your fucking dreams?
Yeah.
And you know, the thing is, I've always looked at it as in twofold sort of. If there was money on the table, or if someone wanted to give you money and wasn't able to, wouldn't that suck? And also, you know, we have a Patreon and many other podcasts do, as you know. We always encourage that if it's any like strain to anyone, don't contribute to us. We give our show away for free. Yeah. If you want to support our show and see, you know, what more we could do, and you want to financially give back, please do so. But that's a good you know, addendum to the Patreon. And you know, maybe you guys can plug my Patreon on the show as well. When does this go up?
This is coming out Wednesday, so you got a couple days. You should get one up. Get one up before an end. I mean,
we'll definitely throw a link in there for you.
Thank you. I appreciate that, guys.
Dude, yeah, you should definitely have one, man. I mean, in this time right now, I mean, how else are you to make any fucking money? I mean, your fans are craving it. And then you could put special shit, dude. That show, do a fucking, you know, like a little demo of that show, you know, that you were
release
talking
it early to the people who are supporting you, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe that's an idea. Put that up and be like, here's what it would look like, but it's going to take a lot of time. You know, it is a job, whatever. So that's a good idea. Thank you, man.
And that's the cool thing about having that kind of connection to, you know, your audience, being able to maybe get that funding or resources that you otherwise wouldn't. And then like all the things that you can do with that. It sort of propels, hopefully it feeds back and you're, you know, giving better stuff to your audience for sure. What they're giving to you. For sure. That's the idea, at least. Yeah. Even though that bitch in Anaheim told me otherwise, that fucking podcast movement. Oh my God. We went to a podcast convention. I got into an argument over the cost of a Starbucks coffee and whether or not Patreon was a valid company. I'm like, well, we thought it was a pretty good idea. And she's like, yeah, well, do you contribute to a Patreon? And I was fucking broke. I didn't even have a job at that point in time. I go, well, no. And she's like, yeah, you buy Starbucks? Yeah. She's like, well, then, yeah, why aren't you contributing to a Patreon? I'm like, I'll just go running into traffic over here. Wow. That's what I get for opening my mouth to strangers pretty much every single time.
She does have a point. You are a piece of shit. So I would really like.
It only took you 45 minutes to figure that out, you know?
Oh, man.
Matt, save me.
Fuck's sake. There's no saving you. Are you serious, dude? You fucked yourself.
You're on your own. I don't know Zoom. How do I block you out?
Oh, dude, you're stuck now.
I'll hide myself here. Don't worry.
Nah, it's all good, man.
Oh God, he literally hit himself on. Nobody can see this, but he's hitting himself on the video, so they won't show up.
That's great. Oh, I love it.
Oh man, but yeah, no, I definitely think a lot of people more than you're expecting would definitely gladly give to a Patreon. And it leaves a lot of opportunities for your creative ops to create something random just for the Patreon people to see, and it doesn't take much effort. You don't have to do highly produced, man. People want to see you. They don't want to see fucking,
Yeah. Well, thank you, man. I appreciate that. That means a lot. And I'm going to do that. That's great. I need that push. Thank you.
Yeah. That's what we're here to
hear. Go give him fucking money right now. Whoever's listening, watching, if you're on YouTube watching this, dude, what are you doing? You should be over
give me $10 a month for exclusive bicycle videos.
Dude, I heard dick pics come at $20 a month, people, and that's a bargain.
Yeah. I'll fuck a fleshlight for free.
Dude, whoa.
That's a bargain you can't get anywhere else.
You're giving away too much. All right.
Or got it on the tiers for him here.
Jesus. That's at least that's at least a $15 tier thing.
One of the podcasts that you do that we haven't mentioned yet is the Sex in the City podcast.
Sex Ian,
the City podcast.
You're right, bitch.
Yes.
What's the story behind that?
Well, my buddy Jay Miller, who's a producer for Impractical Jokers, was like, boys, going to do a podcast where I watch Sex in the City with someone that's never seen it. It's my favorite show. La la la, and I was like, yeah, I'll do it. And it's been quite the endeavor of watching an episode, because I always thought I hated the show. I was like, this show sucks. It's fucking terrible. All these women get together, and I have watched it, and it has helped me so much in understanding myself, understanding women, and I'm using examples from the show to make situations in my life more undigestible to other people. Like, instead of being like, well, I'm going through this and that, I'll be like, have you seen Sex in the City, like episode 7 of season 2, when Carrie's on the phone with Big? And they're like, yes. And I'm like, that's me right now. And they're like, oh, I understand.
Oh God. So, all right, this leads us to the big question. What character are you?
That's what I was thinking.
I'm definitely a Miranda in the streets and a Samantha in the sheets.
Oh baby.
Okay.
All right.
And it's funny because I, my ignorance, my misogyny was Miranda's a shrill bitch, this fucking dyke looking bitch. And then I love her. I empathize with her. I want her to succeed. I hate Carrie. Kristen Davis, whatever. Charlotte, she can fucking go fly a kite. And, watching that show really made me yearn for friendship and connection, because those women get together all the time. They love each other. They have each other's backs. It's a true example of what, a loving and long lasting friendship is. And it's something I desire in my life. And watching that show helped enrich me as a person. The only thing is that with my schedule and Jay's schedule, it became increasingly harder and harder to record episodes. And the studio we were using was going to shit anyway. And, we were doing Fridays, and then I would be on the road, and then, I had some shoot I had to do, or fucking whatever. And then Jay went to Utah for a job. And so it just became crazy, so maybe we'll bring it back with Zoom. Who knows?
There you go.
Do it. Yeah, you definitely should. Especially, what do you guys got going on now? You're stuck at home. Come on, let's stop kidding.
Hey, take it easy, pal.
Come on, I'm grounding you. Well, no, I didn't ground you.
Do you think Sex in the City set unreasonable dating standards for New York City comedians?
I think it set a reasonable dating standards for people in general.
Okay.
I think, I never realized the cultural impact of that show until I watched it and was like, wow, this is a reason. I feel like Sex in the City impacted a generation, and then the next generation was impacted by keeping up with the Kardashians. Like that's everybody wanted to be a Carrie, everybody wanted to be a Samantha, and then it changed to everybody wants to be a Chloe, everybody wants to be a Courtney or a Kim, and I feel like we don't know who the next generational like person the girls will want to mirror is, but I think. I don't know. I think it's had like a weirdly negative effect on people in terms of like, well, I should be married by this age, you know? And then with Kardashians, the thing of like, well, I should look like an Egyptian model, you know?
And have 1 million followers, you know, and have businesses.
And like,
really start with your parents' money.
Like, yeah, love you so much. This stupid bitch. Like that kind of behavior.
Oh, yeah, that's...
I often talk. I mean, like we kind of grew up in the Jersey Shore era. I would say was probably the big popular one.
Fucking
you know,
Snooki.
for like it was sort of the in between of those two. I would say, and I always looked at that as like, what the fuck is the future going to look like if everyone's based off of this bullshit?
Yeah, well, it's like what did we base our personalities off of?
Power Rangers, Ninja Turtles, Ghostbusters,
Jackass,
Arnold Schwarzenegger.
yeah. I mean, we just got brain damage in ours for the most part.
A lot of hitting each other with shit and stuff like that.
Yeah, I feel like girls gravitated towards Sex in the City, Keeping Up with the Kardashians, and then guys, what we used for our personality was just Jackass and wrestling.
Dude, Jackass was a big one, dude. I remember like pushing friends down crazy hills in fucking wagons when we were like 6 or 7 when that first came out, and it was definitely not good.
Yeah.
You were older than 6 at that point, man.
Maybe, I don't know. It felt like I was such a baby.
We're in like middle school, high school around that age. I remember crashing in a couple of carts.
I remember some kid going down like a hill into a fucking stream, like with rocks and shit, like just crazy stupid shit because we saw it on TV. That started the whole new wave for reckless kids, you know?
And now we wonder why people are buying like 300 cans of Mountain Dew at Walmart during a fucking coronavirus.
I'm just thankful for the entertainment, I'm going to say, because viral videos entertain me every morning when I get up and I see some idiot jumping off a roof or, you know, whatever new thing is the fad.
Well, what about that? This is for all my juggalos and juggalettes.
Oh, dude, the guy that runs into things?
No, the guy that jumps off things into like light bulbs. Fuck this shit.
He's a short guy with black hair.
Yeah.
Dude, he runs in. Dude, he also has videos of running into the side of his house and stuff. He's like, for the people, and he runs into like a ladder and just jumps into it. He slowly ramped it up. Like he started.
Well, that's smart. You don't want to go hard on the first one because then where do you go from there?
Yeah, where do you go from there, man? But now it's like you're stuck because it's like, fuck, what are you going to do now to entertain the people? They've seen it all. You know?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, you know, seppuku while getting your dick sucked.
There you go.
Oh,
or pivot to an unboxing channel. Who knows?
Yeah, why not?
Yep.
Oh man, this has been great, man. Where can the people catch you? What are all the plugs in that?
iAnimal on Instagram. iAnimal like iPhone, but with animal. Ian Fidance on Twitter. IanFidance.com. I have merch up. I have t-shirts, buttons. If you guys want to, you know, check that out. I'll have a Patreon coming up soon. And the cartoon Surviving with Gary and Ian is coming out, and I'm really looking forward to that.
Hell yeah, we are too, man. We are too. We can't wait to see it, and we'll have links all over the video in the description below. Definitely support his Patreon above all else. This guy's awesome. I've seen him live. When the shit clears, you got to check him out live. Because this guy, he's a killer. He's a killer, dude. I watched you with a tell, and I'm going to say it right here. I'm going to say it. I liked you better.
Shut up.
Don't fucking tell a tell. Don't you dare tell him. You tell him, dude. You fuck. I know. I'm spitting some shit that's going to offend a lot of people because he's such a legend and he's an amazing guy. But dude, you just popped that night so well.
I have to go watch the whole season of Insomniac as penance now.
I know. Yeah, dude,
I appreciate that, man. But I to be honest, the only opening for him, working the cellar, like that has elevated me to a level because you have to work hard. So You know, and I appreciate you saying that. That's very kind, but fuck you.
I know. No, I don't discredit anything from the God. We're talking about a legend that's going to go down in history in stone.
I cannot wait to get back on stage and fucking, I mean, that's the thing, dude, that I've thought in my head, like 9 years. Wow, you're really in it a long time. And it's like, I'm a fucking nothing. I have dropped in the bucket. I got so much more time to be a fucking legend, to be fucking whatever, be huge. And I'm excited to go there. But I got to keep that in perspective because I'm hanging around people that have been doing comedy for 33 years, longer than I've been alive, 25 years, 18 years. And it's like, damn, what a thing to look forward to, you know?
Yeah, man. I mean, yeah. And it's great that you get to like go along. Was that a good tour that you went on with the hotel?
Oh, incredible. Well, here's the thing.
Long one. I mean, not, I'm sure it's an amazing tour, but like, was it a couple dates, like quite a few?
Oh yeah. I mean, I've been touring with them since December of 2018. And, we were headed up, we had like 15 dates together from here until like, the next couple months. And, I was going to go on tour with him and Jeff Ross for Bumping Mics. And I was going to open, because I've opened for Bert Kreischer before, and I was going to go on some dates with him. I just started headlining clubs. I had a tour coming up. I should have been getting back from Ohio right about now from a weekend with the Tell. And, we had a bunch of tour dates coming up. And
fuck.
That's that.
The future's bright.
Future's bright, man. We know
this.
We got faith in you, and we definitely.
That's the thing.
We got the talent, baby.
When all the dust settles, it's going to be exciting. People are going to want to go out. They're going to want entertainment. They're going to want to feel normal again. Up until the self-quarantine thing, I was at the Cellar all weekend, and dude, they cut capacity to half, separated people through seats. Everybody was saying how the crowds are better than they've been in like months because everything hit. People wanted to be entertained. They didn't want to concentrate on the negative. They wanted to laugh. They were there because they really wanted to be. It wasn't like, well, I guess I'll just go and do this. It was like, no, I'm going here. I'm doing this. And it was fucking beautiful. And if that's any indication of what it's going to be when the dust settles, it's going to be a fucking hell of a time for comedy.
I hope so, man. I mean, I think people are definitely going to come out of this appreciating what they're missing. Because, I mean, again, God knows we're early into this. This could be a month, couple months long. Who knows?
And I think it's going to really separate some people that are incredibly rusty and can't hop right back into it, and others who can fucking hit the ground running, have been writing, have been working, and there's something to be said. I for the past like 2 years, I've been a full-time like working comic, and I'm fortunate that I have enough saved that I'm going to be okay for like, I mean, if this lasts like, 6-8 months, talk to me then, but I'll be okay for a little bit. But thank God I have that from working. And, some people don't have that. And I think it might have some people drop off, who knows? We don't know, but I think when it comes back, people are there are going to be some people that just hit the ground running so hard that that's going to elevate them to a different level, hopefully. And I'm going to be at the front of the pack because I got no other fucking option.
Hell yeah, man. That's the way to be. That's the way to be. Never give up grinding. And
best case scenario, load up that cannon with material and you'll be fucking firing.
Come out blasting all over the field.
I don't know how cannons work.
How do I?
Oh man, we'll figure it out.
Watch, the first time I go on stage, I'm gonna be like, "Whoa, I forget everything."
I'm like, I don't know that guy. I don't know who he is. I don't know.
His legs are just shaking like a chihuahua. I think he pissed himself.
Oh man.
No, I'm gonna go out and kick everyone in the fucking dick and give them what they deserve. A fucking good fucking.
I've seen your show. You don't got to tell me, Ben. You got to tell me. I know how you are. All right.
Kicking dicks and taking names.
Spread the word of the good book of Ian.
Hell yeah, you heard it here, people. Ian Fidance, check him out everywhere, and definitely as soon as this shit clears, check him out live. We promise he will not disappoint.
You guys are great, man. Thank you.
Dude, you're fucking great, man. And thank you so much for coming on. And we'll have to do this again once the storm clears, and we'll do a check-in.
Yeah, we'll have an update episode.
Yeah, we'll see if we got you rich on Patreon, and also if you pissed your pants on your comeback tour. We'll see. You know? All right, people. Thank you, everybody tuning in at home, or if you're watching on the tube, thank you. And until the next time, hey, that's it.
There you go.
We smoking America. We passing America. I'm mapping America. I'm second America. We talking America. We blazing America. This is fucking America. We're second America.
This has been American Slacker Podcast. You can reach the show by searching American Slacker on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, and Reddit, or send them an email to americanslackerpodcast@gmail.com. You can download and rate American Slacker on iTunes, Spotify, Stitcher, Google Play, and all other podcast platforms. Visit the show's website, aspodcast.com, where you will find every episode, official merchandise, and links to their Patreon if you would like to support American Slacker.
We smoking America. We passing America. I'm mapping America.